Hey, how's it going, everybody? How's it going? Oh, hello, Sneakers. Hi there, pup. Whoa, okay, look at that. He's just like so excited. He's like, oh my god, things are happening. Oh, oh my gosh, Sneakers, yes, I love you. Yes, we love you, huh? Say hello. Say hello to people. You gonna say hello? You gonna say hello to people?
Surprise!
Oh my gosh! Hi, Mommy. You surprised me after I got started on the live stream. Oh, look at that. Oh, we were about to pop through. Boom! There you are. See, Sneakers. No barks. No barks. Hi. It's not. Stop barking.
Sneakers attack.
Yep, sneaker attack. Oh my gosh. It's my birthday, everybody. My 33rd birthday. Woo!
Yeah, Sneakers attack.
Sneakers attack. Oh, and I'm here. So you can see our adorable puppy Sneakers is currently trying to bite my hands off. And of course, my... Ow, Sneakers, that hurt. Stop it.
He's like, what?
About to kick you out of here, Sneakers. And he is my adorable son, Maverick. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, anybody out there, just say hi. Say, hey, what's up? Sneakers, stop. No. Say, what's up? I'm so glad to be here. Sneakers, no barks. No barks. Go out. Okay, Maverick, let's back away. Sneakers, go on. Go on, out of here. All right. He's going to see Mama. Oh, hop on down. Maverick, why aren't you going up to bed, buddy? Aren't you supposed to be going up to bed? Connor! Hey, thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping. And I appreciate the happy birthday. Yes! Oh, it's the sweetest. Maverick, it is bedtime. Crazy face, yeah. You got crazy face, huh?
Why is he doing the same thing?
Why is it doing the same thing? Because it's a video recording of us. It is. Oh, Ivan, thank you very much. I appreciate the happy birthdays from everybody. Hey, we got five concurrent viewers now. Oh, big leagues for me. Yeah. I'm so happy you decided to come down and say hi to me, Maverick. Oh, yeah, go. It's time for bed though, buddy. You need to be going upstairs. Ew, why would you lick my hand? Mavy, it's time to go get ready for night. You gotta go get ready for night time. All right, go on, Mavy. Go on. Let's go get ready for night with Mama. Aw, you wanna see what? What are you trying to see? It's just doing all the same things that you did, just a few seconds later. Yeah, I love you so much, Maverick.
I wonder what got all this cool rock.
Yeah, the poster's got lots of really cool rocks. I know. So many awesome fossils and whatnot. All right, but you do need to... It is time to go get ready for night, okay? So... Go on upstairs.
I wish you had all of those kinds of rocks.
I know. That would be so cool, huh? To have all those kinds of rocks. All right. Oh, that was fun. That was so fun. All right. Well, everybody, hey, let's get the floor open. Anyone can say whatever they want. Ask any questions or just talk about whatever you want. Cute kid. I know he is the most. Oh, I love him so much. Thank you. He is so cute and super smart. Oh, so while people are, coming in, getting settled, let's just kind of, talk about the day a little bit. What games you gonna play? Connor, I don't know. I depending on the activity, I might not play games at all. Really, this is just supposed to be like a kick back and chill kind of thing, and just talk with people, have fun, enjoy ourselves. Maybe if it gets slow, I'll kick up a game. I have Fallout New Vegas kind of in the background waiting, so probably that most likely. But I could take a poll or something too, depending on how many people are here and active. Could also do a Hollow Knight, which I only played like an hour of a few years ago, so that'll be interesting. And some other options, but it is primarily a sort of kick back and just chat, have fun, celebrate my birthday, and enjoy ourselves kind of situation. So yeah, well, while people start coming in, and let me actually go and just sort of check on some stuff here. So yeah, today, oh my gosh, today was freaking crazy. Work is beyond bonkers right now. We are so far behind on processing benefits for people in the county. But yeah, today got to go to my son's school, and we talked with his teacher, and that was always interesting. Love to get the kind of feedback. He's doing really well, really smart, just very defiant. He does, like, I do what I want to do. If you tell me something to do something I don't want to do, then no, I don't wanna. It's just the kind of kid he is. Oh boy, but what are you gonna do, right? And I've been playing Hades again because I always like pop back to Hades like every once in a while. It's just so freaking addictive, so addictive. You used to be like that? Yeah. Oh, I'm still very much like that myself, except this is the real world where have to play by the man's rules. You totally get that. I bet. Oh man, played, got through all of Pokemon Violet, caught almost every Pokemon that I could in it. Then went through Sonic Frontiers, which is also enjoyable. A very solid entry into the Sonic franchise. It's good to see Sonic back on an upswing. It does have some very noticeable flaws, but nothing that I think really breaks it. But they are big enough to keep it from being fantastic. So it's just it's good, it's solid, but it's not like yeah. But like I said, I'm just glad Sonic's back on an upswing after so long of having some complicated times for sure. Oh man, what else? What else? We are not having people coming in, and that makes me kind of sad. Let me pop into a few places, try to get some things moving in. Ba-da-ba-bum-bum. Get the word out some more. And if Ivan, I saw you did a Twitter post. Thank you so much. And if anyone can get the word out and invite people, hey, like, it's an open party, open birthday party. Anyone can come in. All right, let's see. Really would like some people to come by and chat and have a good time. It's a celebration, my homies. Put that in my Discord server there. Bada bing, bada boom. Still think the voice acting was a little stiff in the game. Other than that, the game was a success. Yep. Like I said, we went into a pretty in-depth discussion on all that for sure. But like I said, yeah, absolutely. Boom. So I said, yes. So, for everybody who watched the most recent video, if you haven't watched it yet, please go do so. But yeah, Quantum Combat character deep dive for Cosmical, the lame Magus, and Jimmy Hogarth, the legendary Mystic Fox. Part of that whole situation was hopefully starting forward in the next video. But what I was trying to do in that one wasn't able to so much, but hopefully starting in the next video, to kind of elevate when talking about the move sets, fighting styles, the specials and super moves and whatnot. We have this, kind of this tablet here that's really it's a dinky tablet, to be perfectly frank. It's very bad quality overall, just because I think of its age and how it was treated by previous owners. But what I really wanted to do was use it to draw out just some rudimentary sketches of the movesets, just to help visualize, because I can describe something in so many words, and if I really want to get the idea down, I'd have to spend a few minutes describing each one. And even then, there's some people it's going to be hard to visualize, but I really wanted to actually start drawing out some rudimentary diagrams. The only issue is that I don't have an S Pen for it, and trying to do it with my fingers was just not working. Just not panning out at all. And, S Pens are kind of expensive, and you have to make sure you get one that's specifically compatible with the specific tablet, which is always lame and a hassle. So once I find one of those and I have the money for it, that's my next investment for the channel, is an S Pen for this crappy tablet to help draw out and put in more detail when describing the movesets. Speaking of which, hey, I thought I actually did a pretty good job of, especially in the Cosmico section with his supers, with the protective glyph, the little animation that I kind of put in there of tink, 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 and boom kind of stuff. Then his ultimate super, where the power starts glowing in the eyes, growing out, sort of thing. That all took quite a while. I put a lot of investment in that. Hopefully people liked it. Let me know what you if you liked it, what you thought. I probably should have gone, once I had the idea to do those, I probably should have gone back to do something in the other movesets, just to give a thing and help elevate the whole video, since those ones came pretty late in the video, honestly. So anybody who stuck around that long is they were going to stick around regardless, and people who weren't sticking around, never got to see it. And the people that would have attracted never had the chance. I probably should have gone back and done at least something with the other specials and super moves, but it was, the video was already, it had been over 4 months, almost 5 months since my previous video. I got to the point where I was like, I just need to push this out, and it was the same kind of thought process with getting the pen for the tablet and sketching out the moves. It was I think that this would be a good thing to do. It would greatly improve it, but I just gotta get this out at this point. And I'm not disappointed in the final product at all. I'm actually very happy with it. I just know it could have been better. But that's where it always is, right? It can always be better, and that's just part. Oh, I've got some fuzz on my little. That's just part of the process. It can always be better, always be improved, right? And that's how it goes. Everything that you make, you get a little bit better. You improve a little more, and that's the way that I'm looking at it. Is every one that I make, I'm getting a little bit better, so that the next one can be a further improvement. At least that's where I'm at. Anyway, that's let me know if you agree, disagree, think that it's tell me if you think that I have improved. I would really greatly appreciate it. Hey Kieran, hello, glad to see ya. I know you were out shopping, don't know if you're still shopping or not, but I appreciate you coming in. Hey. Oh man, I was just talking about, the most recent video with, Cosmico in it. Everybody, System of 11. That's my friend Kieran, the one who I handed off the concept to, and was able to, create a lot more of those details. So, if you really enjoyed Cosmico, then a huge chunk of that contribution that you have to thank for goes to them. Got back about 20 minutes ago. Need to recoup. All right. Well, you take all the time you need to recoup. I know your body definitely needs it for sure. From what I've seen, it's looking really solid. You're on your way to something special, man. Oh, thank you, Ivan. Thank you. On my way to something special that absolutely feels good. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Get some water going on in here. Tastes good. Tastes good. Feels good. Oh, which opens us up into what's coming up next. So, like I announced at the end of the previous video, I am putting Quantum Combat on a bit of a hiatus for a while until my character artist opens up his commissions again. Whoa, I got dog hair all the freak over these glasses. That's no good. Try to clean them and I just make them worse with dog hair. So while Quantum Combat is on its hiatus, because it's the big flagship of my new series and the new direction of my channel, right? It's Hell Yeah Gaming is now all about creating my own projects, my own concepts for games and getting in depth with it. But Quantum Combat, yeah, it is my big new flagship. That's the one that I want the most amount of effort to go into to make it really good. That's why I'm paying let's be honest, he's definitely going really cheap for me, for just probably because we're old high school friends and whatnot, but even still, a not inconsiderable amount of money for, these character artwork and going super in depth on background and story and everything, and really trying to elevate my video editing. Though honestly, if I could get an editor, that would be part of the dream. Because editing is I enjoy the fact that I created it, but I hate the process because it's so tedious for the most part. But yeah, I put so much work always into the Quantum Combat episodes for sure. But we have these other ideas that I have going on to fill I don't want to say fill in the time, because they're their own projects on in their own right, and I want them to be good as well. But these other projects that I will start during the wait for the next Quantum Combat episode. And I put the ideas up in the last video just for people to be like, hey, like, tell me which ideas you really like, tell me which ones that you really want to see the most. And I got, a good amount of feedback, but I figure right now would be a good time to go into kind of more depth, because there's only so much you can glean from like a 3 to 4 word description flashed up on the screen for like 5 seconds, right? So the first idea that I wanted to start kind of running with, the one that I have the most in depth and ideas for, is a From Software Soulsborne style game that is a combination of taking inspiration from Egyptian culture and mythology, and you probably can't hear that, but it sounded like a plane came overhead. I live near both an airport and a military base, or Air Force base rather, so that's not uncommon. Anyway, man, completely derailed my train of thought. Based in and inspired with Egyptian culture and mythology, but also in with a lot of steampunk infused into it. Yeah, I described it as steampunk Egyptian Soulsborne or something like that, right? So just to get a lot more in depth on what that actually means, is how this one would work is because with every genre and every type of game, like I would have to present it in a different way based on its format. I can't do the same sort of thing with a From Software Soulsborne game, right? That I'm doing with Quantum Combat, where like I sit down and I say like, this is the plot, these are the characters, this is their personality and their history A to Z, in depth of what they do, and then here's the primary game mechanics. Here's how I can't do that kind of thing with this, right? Like, that's not how a From Software style game is built, right? For everybody who's familiar with them, like, it's all context-based storytelling. There's super deep, super rich lore, but it's not spoon-fed to you. You don't get a lot of cutscenes, and you don't get any real exposition. You learn bits of lore through some snippets of character dialogue, but primarily through the environment, through the circumstances that you find yourself in, through descriptions and items and spells. And that's where 98% of it comes from, and it's up to the players to like really piece that stuff together, right? So I want to present it in a way that's faithful. So I mean, there's some things that obviously you have to give pretty straightforward, like the actual game mechanics themselves. And of course, that's what I would do for sure. It'd be like, if this is kind of how I imagine the controller would be laid out, and this is like, you could have a summons that work like this, and that sort of thing. But in terms of hey, babe. Aw, thank you. Aurora's in. my lovely, lovely lady. Oh, thank you so much for popping in. I love you. Nick! Hey, Nick! Thank you for coming in. I appreciate the happy birthday wish. Everybody, Nick is the one who makes 98% of my thumbnails. Not this one. This one for this stream is a Jeff original, and probably not nearly as good as the ones he makes for me. He does it all just as a friend, and I cannot thank you enough, Nick. That is amazing. Like, doesn't even ask for credit. Like, I asked multiple times, like, you want me to put you in the video description, credit you. He's like, no, I'm just doing it. It's all cool. I appreciate it so much. Okay, to re-rail my train of thought. I love your thumbnails, Nicholas. You are awesome. Appreciate appreciate the appreciation. Yeah, I guess. So cool. So yeah, for this project, for the Egyptian steampunk Soulsborne, like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to present things that straightforward, other than, like, obviously game mechanics that you have to present pretty straightforward. For, like, how the world itself works and the lore behind it, the what I have planned so far in my mind, and by all means, please, people, this is an open floor, open forum. Everybody can just, throw ideas out there. Let me know, like, what you think about these different ideas, and if you have any other suggestions to kind of morph it, or fit the style, or kind of make it more palatable. Just, by all means, open floor discussion. But the way I imagine it going is each episode covering this game project would, start with me discussing a portion of the mechanics rather than going over all the mechanics in one video like Quantum Combat, because let's be honest, a fighting game doesn't have that many mechanics you have to go super in-depth about in a presentation that you can cover in one video. Whereas something like this would, in-depth action RPG for sure would require a lot more. Like each video, I would cover a portion of mechanics and then kind of fade to black in the end, and the end part would be me presenting, like, discussions in character, or an item description of one or two or three item descriptions, whatnot, and then you, the audience, just like you would have to in an actual From Software game, kind of put the pieces together, make some inferences with the details, mix and match, and get the idea going, is how I imagine I would largely do that. And then some aspects of the lore will be a bit more straightforward and presented openly. Like, I'll say right now, it takes place on an island surrounded by ocean, with a swirling storm of pure chaos or creation energy. So it's a very isolated situation, and just like, how the ancient Egyptian civilization has thousands and thousands of years of just straight history, straight uninterrupted history, to the point that, like, Cleopatra was born closer to modern day than she was to the construction of the Great Pyramids. Like, that's like ancient Egypt had so many different time periods that, they had archaeologists studying their own ancient ruins during a time period that we consider ancient. So, like, it has so long of a history, and that would be a big part of this this world and the lore for this game as well, where it's like a huge the old kingdom and the new kingdom. Yes, Ivan, you have no idea how closely you actually came to what I'm really really thinking here. But a huge part of it would be like that your player character is going further and further down in like these layered ruins that go deeper down in a civilization that like keeps building on top of itself until and then you can see like the different eras and how they've changed and altered throughout time, and how all of these different eras have impacted the lore and the universe. I also intend for it to be like more exploration heavy than your typical From Software Soulsborne game. And since a huge part of like one of the core themes is that sense of exploration and discovery. Thank you, thank you, Justin. Glad to see you. Happy that you were able to get up this early. I know you said you're an early morning riser, and so this isn't that much earlier than normal. But I appreciate that you set an alarm to get here, and thank you very much for the birthday wishes. The layers sound very cool. Thanks, hun. Thanks. Are you up there with Maverick right now? Like I don't know what the situation is with him and bedtime right now, but either way, appreciate you being here too. I love you so much. You can always come down here and be with me too. You can just come right downstairs and be right with me. Yeah. Okay. Rerailing train. Boom. Because the exploration is such a huge factor, and specifically like the mystery of what has happened with this civilization throughout the eons. One of the mechanics that I intend with this idea is one of the stats that you can level up. I don't have a name for it specifically yet. Like it could be the intelligence stat or the arcane stat that you typically find in a From Software game, or it could be something else yet. Like, I don't have all of the details down pat, but like, as you increase that stat and level it up higher, it adds more or otherwise alters the flavor and descriptions on different items and spells. So, like, basically, the more insight or the more knowledge that you have based on whatever stat it is that I ultimately come down to and determine, like, the more you as the player can look into, this sword or this shield or this, whatever, and understand more about the world and that it came from. That's like one of the core pieces that I'm really imagining for it. And then since exploration is a huge part, like I also have ideas of different gadgets that help open up more avenues of exploration. So like it's not as straightforward as, say, Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but it's not a open world like Elden Ring, go anywhere you want, but it is a labyrinth that goes deeper and deeper and deeper with many different turns and twists that you can follow. Many different pathways that can open up based on each, what doors you've opened up, what gadgets you have that can open those pathways. Very Legend of Zelda-esque in that way, but all like one connected world rather than separate dungeons and whatnot. Fable meets Dragon Age. I never played Dragon Age, Kieran, so I cannot say to the I can't speak to that too much. Fable, not maybe a bit. I can see a little bit of kind of where you're getting with that. Not Ivan, I was literally just about to say it sounds like an open world element with a fighting game element, which admittedly, if done right, would be cool. Yeah, thanks. Like I said, like every FromSoft game has one that it's very. It has one thing that it kind of focuses on as its thing, right? So, it started with Demon Souls, which had a hub that you hang out with, and then you go into levels, kind of like Mario 64 style, but they're straightforward levels. And then Dark Souls is where they kind of perfected their formula, and is kind of like their baseline. Then Bloodborne is the aggression and speed focused one, where it's far less defensive, much faster, and a lot more streamlined in a lot of cases, And then Elden Ring is the open world one, or also like the one it is the newcomer friendly one that gives you so many different options for like an easier game kind of experience. So like for this one, I intend for it to be the exploration one is the focus. And then Dan, happy to see you. Can't stay, but wanted to pop in and wish you a happy birthday. This is the way. Yes, this is the way. And I was very happy with the Mandalorian Season 3 opener that premiered today. It's like a birthday from George Lucas himself. Never mind the fact that he has nothing to do with it, and hasn't for a long time now. But you know what I mean. Season premiere right on my birthday made me so happy. Loving my studio. Thank you. Of course, green screen, bada boom right here. And all my all my toys and game setup going on. See, the Bloodborne board game is right there. Like I haven't put it in the closet yet. It's got to go in the closet. Right over. Let's kind of move that. Yeah, closet over here is where it's going to go with all the other board games. Since I moved the thing, let me make sure. Yep, okay, I put it back how it needs to be. Okay, gonna watch it in a little bit. Anyway, gotta go. Just got home from work. All right. Well, hey, just thanks for popping in, and thank you for the birthday wishes and everything. I'm always just glad to have you here. Oh. Anyway, yeah, so that's a lot more in-depth with my idea for, my From Software Soulsborne style game, which still needs a title, because I don't even have a working title for it at this point. But it is the idea that I have the most fleshed out by far. So very, very excited with that. And then other idea to get more in depth, the Zelda RPG. Okay, so this would be kind of in the like a JRPG turn-based style. Very, very classic. Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, all those classic JRPGs where you have your party. You level them up, you switch out their gear and equipment for the best that you can for any situation. All that sort of thing. There's Sneakers running around, barking. Oh boy. I love that dog, but Oh boy. Anyway, so that one I'd be able to present a lot more straightforward, like quantum combat, and would require several episodes to go through mechanics. The ideas that I really have for it are that it could either be like alternate universe, doesn't fit in the timeline at all, or it could technically fit into the Zelda timeline anywhere. At any point that Ganon is dead, and now he's howling. Now he's getting his howl on. Oh, sneakers. At any point in the timeline that Ganon is dead and Hyrule's not flooded. Because so like my ideas here are that it's at a time when it's largely a time of peace, and Ganondorf has reincarnated just like he did in Four Swords Adventures. So for people who aren't super uber nerds of Legend of Zelda like I am, Ganon is the same person in every single game in all the timeline except for Four Swords Adventures. That is the only one in which he is not the same person. Now, Link and Zelda, they reincarnate in the cycle over. Four Swords Adventures is the only time that ever happened with him. And he became the Demon Lord Ganon through an entirely different process than his origin in Ocarina of Time. So this would take place during a time when we have Ganondorf reincarnated as King of the Gerudo. Link is a stable boy who was supposed to go present a prize horse to the Hyrulean royal family. And then, of course, Zelda is Zelda. And they converge together where there's going to be peace talks, a meeting of all of the kings, where we have so we would have Ganondorf coming in from the desert to represent his people, with the King of Hyrule, with the chieftain of the Gorons, the king of Zoras, blah blah blah. You get it. And Link is supposed to be coming to present the prized horse when a third-party threat comes in, and classic Zelda shenanigans, monsters get unleashed, things go to hell, so on. And during this time, we have monsters attacking. Zelda gets separated from Hyrule Castle with Ganondorf and Link, and the three come together and form your core party. So Ganondorf would be one of your main party members here. Ivan, I did play Ocarina of Time on the 3DS, and holy hell, some levels I had to look up a guide to know what the hell I'm going. That's fair. That's fair. Nick, sorry if I'm in and out. I'm going to watch some more One Piece. Yes, One Piece! One Piece time! Woo! I'm so excited. I'm so excited that you got into it. Yes. One Piece forever. Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. Yes. So like the main story would be that we have a non-Ganon villain threat coming in who does this whole thing. Main party, we got Link, Ganondorf, and Zelda. And then over the course of the story, you would recruit more party members. Let me kind of go back to my notes here. Just kind of throw some ideas out there just to give you some examples. So yeah, a Goron who would like be your who would be a big beefcake tank. Impa would be like a late game addition with Sheikah magic. A Deku Scrub would be one who's like a ranged thief rogue sort of archetype. Then, so on and so forth. I have a couple other ideas that I'm kind of thinking about. One idea that I is kind of so dumb that I love it is one of the ancient robots from Skyward Sword. But it turns out that the robot is actually like a mecha being piloted by a Minish. Like it's one of those ideas. Like it's so dumb, but I love it. Oh, joints are killing me. I need to take my meds and go lie down. I'll leave the stream up for your channel stats, then come back later and Oh, thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. It's so kind and awesome. You are the real one. So yeah, ancient robot piloted by a Minish. Woo! But like part of the core of how this would be is that it would be grid based. So instead of just like on this side is your team, on this side is the monsters. You each take one turn to go bam, 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 bam. It would be grid based, so it would be maneuvering. It wouldn't be huge battle maps, but it would be, it would be at least somewhat sizable. And part of the core elements is that every character has a Triforce leaning, so they have an affinity towards either power, wisdom, or courage. And of the 3 primary party members, I'm sure you can tell exactly who has affinity for what. But like your Triforce affinity would determine what was it? I mean, back to my notes. Shoot. Right. So, okay. Specific actions that you take on your turn would fill up that character's Triforce meter. So, like, just to throw some examples out there, if Link, obviously his affinity is courage. So, like, some specific actions that would help fill up the courage Triforce meter for Link would be ending your turn surrounded by multiple enemies, or taking heavy damage in a single turn. That would fill up a courage Triforce meter. Or if we got Ganondorf, whose affinity is power, obviously, something to help fill up the power meter would be casting a high-level spell doing like huge amounts of damage in one hit. Something that could help fill up, a wisdom Triforce meter for Zelda or any other character who's got the wisdom affinity would be, healing a party member who's low on health, or repositioning your layout to a more advantageous spot. Something like moving out of an enemy's threat range, or moving into a spot that would give you like a flanking bonus kind of deal. Then the whole idea here is that once your Triforce meter is full with that character, then they can use a unique, powerful move similar to like a Final Fantasy limit break. And if all 3 of your active party members have full Triforce meters, and they make up the 3 sections of the Triforce. They're all different. You have a power, a wisdom, and a courage all filled out. Then, or as we call it, you would have a balanced Triforce. Then the characters would basically like insta screen nuke. If it's not a boss, it's nuked. Done. Kind of. Or if it is a boss, like massive damage. Or potentially some other effect. Like, a lot of it comes down to specific details, trying to balance things. Scott Sandler, hey, happy birthday. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Happy to have you here. Just going over the idea a little bit more in depth of the different game ideas that I have going forward for my different video projects. Right now, talking about Legend of Zelda RPG idea. So, just to get, a stronger idea for people. Yep. Then another part of, the Triforce affinity thing would be, so, characters have their affinities for, whatever piece of the Triforce they are most attuned to. However, affinity can change for the different party members. Link, Ganondorf, Zelda, their affinities would be locked in. Link will always be courage. Ganondorf will always be power. Zelda will always be wisdom. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just who they are. Cannot be altered. Now, for everybody else, it could be changed. Then the way that I envision that character progression would work is that it would be like a chart, or you would have 3 trees. Each character would have 3 trees. Guess what they correlate to? Oh, power, wisdom, courage. Whoa, who would have thought, right? So, completely lost my train of thought again. Dang it. But yeah, each tree would unlock access to different skills. The power tree would be if you just want to boost this character's raw stats, or you want to build them towards this high level, high damaging magic spell kind of thing. So on and so forth. Then all of the characters who aren't the primary 3, their Triforce affinity would be whichever of the 3 trees you have the most skill points invested into. And then they would each have tiebreaker leanings. They have affinities like the primary 3, but those affinities aren't locked in. They aren't super tight. So say the Goron warrior beefcake, if you have an equal amount of skill points invested into all 3 trees, then he would be he would default onto power. If power is lower but wisdom and courage are tied, then he would go go to courage, and then wisdom is the lowest on his priority. That's the kind of thing that I imagine for it. So that's a lot more details, for the Zelda RPG idea. Then the next of the ideas, bada bada boom, let's make a Fallout game. Ho ho! Yes, yes, yes. So this one is it actually builds on uh some stuff that some lore and ideas that I've had for many, many, many years, which originated as a Fallout tabletop game that I ran for a bunch of my friends. So it would be Fallout set in the state of Colorado, primarily because write what you know, right? It's my home. It's where I know the most about, and I think legitimately that there would be a lot of really good possibilities for story and lore that could be done here in Colorado. Um, Fallorado. Oh, I suppose you could say that. Welcome, welcome. So, because we have so many military bases, we have Cheyenne Mountain with NORAD built into it. There's and considering the state of the Fallout world before the bombs dropped, and okay, Sneakers, you need to stop barking at everything up there, puppy. Oh, I love that puppy, but he is a vocal puppy. But yeah, considering the state of the world that Fallout was in before the bombs dropped, military would be, kind of a important thing. And with how huge the military is in Colorado, all of the different bases and whatnot, like there's a lot of possibility, a lot of options in there. Then Nikola Tesla lived in Colorado for many years, and gave working electricity to one of our towns before it was widespread and everything. So you can damn well be certain that Fallout Red State would have a secret, long-lost Nikola Tesla laboratory in it. Oh, I would really. Here's my thing with it. With Fallout, like I'm an old school Fallout fan. I started with the original isometric top down Fallout on the PC, but I don't. You'll be right back. All right. Hey. Even if you aren't right back, thanks for coming in and have an awesome time, Ivan. Oh man, my train of thought gets so derailed so easily. I'm so easily distracted. Oh, I hate it. Right. So, like, yeah, I am an old school Fallout fan, but I also believe in progression. I believe in franchises evolving, and I like how Fallout has changed for the most part with when Bethesda took over. My issues with them are usually a lot more in like retcon and lore kind of stuff, but even then, some of it is good and decent. Fallout freaks me out. Hun, my sweet darling. That's more relevant today than it has been in many generations. So I perfectly understand. But it's one of my all-time favorite game franchises for a reason. But yeah, so like I want to for my thoughts, my ideas, like there's a lot of mechanics in newer Fallout that I want to keep and or expand on while returning to a lot more of the choice and narrative structure of some of the older games, and then in particular like Fallout New Vegas, which is still like the perfect Fallout game to me. But even then, like, the actual gameplay mechanics would be evolved even from New Vegas with the ideas that I have for Fallout Red State. Whereon, there would be more focus on the gunplay, but enemies would not be bullet sponges as you level up. It would be like there wouldn't be scaled leveling for enemies, and even as you level, like your hit points would actually be static based on just your endurance stat plus any perks or traits that you have also taken. Damage values for weapons would also be fixed. I would bring back skill points, and they wouldn't affect weapon damage values, but they excuse me, but it would affect things like weapon spread or your accuracy, how quickly the weapon degrades its condition based on how well you understand it, can use it, sort of thing. So a lot more fixed stats, and then as you level up, your skill points make you better at using those, but then also open up all of the more dialogue and roleplay options, which also is something to return to, actually having dialogue trees that provide different outcomes instead of yes, 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 but sarcastic, and no, but still yes. And actual consequences for those actions. Like, in Fallout 4, when you meet the railroad, you can just straight up say, I don't believe in your cause. I think that synths are property. You're all crazy, and I will turn you into the Institute at the first possible opportunity. And they still invite you into their secret organization, saying, like, you have proven that you are a security risk, and then still are cool with you joining. Like, no, there's consequences to your actions and your dialogue. It's Fallout 4 is so afraid of locking people out and making choices matter. I mean, all of the endings are literally the same anyway, so it's not like nothing matters in Fallout 4. But hate fake choices, and when they pretend to let you join the bad guys. Oh boy. So that's like the direction that I would be going with there. Now, as for actual like lore and conflict that's set up, Denver and the Colorado area in general, but Denver specifically, in the events of Fallout before the bombs dropped, was hit by the new plague, the hardest of anywhere in the United States. That's established canon. Denver is where a lot of the research for what would eventually become the FEV was done and initiated before that research was taken to California and done at West Tech. And then Denver is also like where like so much industry and technology was produced in the Fallout universe, and then it's currently in the current part of timeline overrun by all these different dogs, and was part of Caesar's Legion's territory at one point. But that's I could get into Fallout lore discussion for hours and hours. Let's digress. Oh, Oh, is the stream still going? Okay. Oh, okay, it is. Something popped up that made me a little worried there for a moment. So, part of the main conflict here that I'm imagining is that with the collapse of Caesar's Legion in New Vegas, because let's be real, there's no way that the canon ending to that is that Caesar's Legion wins. 3 out of 4 endings destroy Caesar's Legion, so with the collapse of Caesar's Legion, Denver is more accessible. So it becomes revealed that there is still this technology and research accessible there that different factions could want. In particular, the proto-FEV, which would be something that a lot of groups would want. I imagine a small super mutant faction, not one of like the key players, not one of the big groups, but a small super mutant faction that wants to get this proto FEV material because they believe that it will help them to develop a new strain or a cure for that whole super mutant sterility problem so that they can actually reproduce. Of course, a lot of other people don't want this because, oh no, if the super mutants can reproduce now, then that means that the master was right and there's nothing to stop them from forcibly converting people again. We don't want that situation. Like I said, they'd be like more of a minor faction in that case. The primary raider group of the area is this former military, or well, maybe they themselves wouldn't be former military, but they'd operate out of Fort Carson and would be the Sons of Kar in a very Nordic Viking kind of way, like Carson, son of Kar. Yeah. Hey, welcome back, Ivan. Welcome back. So they'd have a Norse theme going on. Because they operate out of Fort Carson, they have access to power armor. They have all of this military weapons and technology at their disposal. They are like they're the big offensive force. They don't necessarily want the research that's in Denver themselves, so much as they just don't want anyone else to have it, so that nobody can get a leg up on them. I should also establish right off the bat, Brotherhood of Steel does not exist. Does not exist in Fallout Red State. For a large number of reasons that I would get into in an actual video dedicated to talking about it. But you know who would exist? The Enclave! I know, like, I'm usually the first one to complain about bringing the Enclave back and how, like, they have been effectively destroyed, only to be brought back, to be totally destroyed again, to have more mention, and it's a whole thing. I honestly feel like if there's one place that the Enclave absolutely deserves to have a presence in, it's Colorado. Because of Cheyenne Mountain, which is the backup command center for the President of the United States in the event that Washington is compromised. Like, it's built into a mountain as a big bunker, specifically so that the president can be brought there and protected and command the country in events of total war. Now, this gets into some issues with Fallout Tactics, which is in a sort of fluid state of kinda sorta canon, but that's a whole other can of worms, and Bethesda certainly doesn't care about retconning things, and Tactics had a lot of issues already, so I am certainly willing to just sweep it aside, honestly, because I think that this makes a lot more sense than Cheyenne Mountain. Has a secret vault with brain-powered AI that creates robot factories to death machines. That was a choice. No, like Cheyenne Mountain, there's no way that it would not be an enclave base. But this enclave would be, in this world, would be very different from the enclave that we've seen in the other games due to isolation. Cheyenne Mountain, it's not like it's, some top secret. Like, everyone knows about Cheyenne Mountain. Everyone knows it's the fallback for the president. It's a command center. It's, all of these super important things. During the Great War, when America and China are nuking each other, there's no way Cheyenne Mountain isn't one of the priority targets. So, in this version of the world lore that I'm concocting, Cheyenne Mountain had a big enclave group in there, but it also got nuked a bunch, which left the place so irradiated that they couldn't leave until the radiation levels eventually died down enough that they were able to get out with their specially protected radiation suits. Which means that they come in as like a brand new force. So what are we talking about? Oh, we are talking about my idea for a new Fallout game that takes place in Colorado. So this enclave, due to the isolation, would still very much be like America first, and would be, a fascist regime of like, you're with us or you're dead. But they also would not be human purist, and they wouldn't be looking to genocide literally everybody who's not them. They're more of a, all right, let's reclaim America. And America looks a lot different now. There's some people who look like zombies over there, and there's some big hulking green dudes right there, and all of these other people. But you know what? We're all Americans. So, hoorah, USA, USA. And then if you're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Go back in your mountain hole. Then they bring out the guns and be like, bah, bah, bah. We are America. Enclave. As opposed to, trying to genocide everybody. But they would want to get the research in Denver to, do what Enclave do, which is develop super soldiers and their own weapons of war for domination and dominion. They would certainly provide the greatest source of law if you chose them as like an ending faction. But, at what cost? And other main primary faction that I'm toying with comes from a side of Fallout that's very rarely explored and not super well known, which is Psychers. Because people with psychic powers do exist in Fallout, and the Master from the first game is the most prevalent one. He's a very special case, albeit. But, you know, there's people who have psychic powers that's just not super well explored. And that ranges anywhere from having visions of the future to being able to communicate with the Chosen One, the player character in Fallout 2, in his dreams across vast distances, to some pyrokinesis, telekinesis stuff. So I want to make like kind of what Bethesda was sort of going for with the Institute in Fallout 4, being like the boogeyman hidden in plain sight that you never know who you can trust situation. But I would want to, obviously try to pull it off a lot more skillfully, a lot more successfully, in that there's this faction of psychers, and because psychers can look like anybody, they're for all intents and purposes normal people. You don't know who is one, but they don't do things for no apparent reason. For ostensibly the good of mankind, like the Institute, who claim that like we're mankind redefined, we're pushing the envelope and developing humanity to its next era by replacing people with robot duplicates and making everyone paranoid and hate us, and other sabotaging attempts at unified government, and like they never had an actual goal or a reason for the things that they did. Whereas this group of psychers, I would certainly very much have actual goals and reasons for their whole thing, which is good old fashioned elitism. Like, we're just better than you. We are the next stage in human evolution. And they would want the research in Denver because, FEV can create psychers, and this proto-FEV research would be useful for, doing that exact thing and expanding their numbers. Oh, I'm just gotta... Yes. I just got a text message from Dan, who was in the chat earlier, about Mandalorian. I would also have ideas of, like, I would also have new races you could be. Jeff's talking about how Colorado will be the capital of the world after it ends. Oh, no. Definitely not. Definitely not, for sure. Capital in the minds of this group of Enclave, at least. But yeah, like, I would have more than just human as a starting race. There would also be, ghoul, super mutant, and some other situation there. Bring back traits, perks, and I would set it up with background traits that you can pick that like establish kind of a bit of your origin and open up new dialogue options, new circumstances, ways that you can go into things. A Brotherhood of Steel origin as one that would automatically give you proficiency in power armor and things of that nature. Open up some extra dialogue options in other regards, and that's as much depth as I want to get into before I make actual videos for it. Next idea was the God Civilization Simulator. This one I struggle to define the most, so this is by far the oldest idea on here because it comes from a text-based forum role-playing game that I created going on 15, 16 years ago at this point. Anyway, it's called The God's Looking Glass. And the idea behind it is that a world has just been created. The world of tabula rasa, which is just a play on tabula rusa, the Latin phrase for blank slate. And the idea is that there's a few baseline fantasy races that exist in this world. So, we got humans, we got the elves, we got the drunken Scots in the holes, also known as dwarves, and just some of the basic staples. The idea is that you pick one of these races as your starting point. That is your character. You are ascended by the source. The source is exactly what it sounds like. It is the originator of all. It is like the capital G God. And the source just picks some random mortals to ascend to godhood and basically says, like, okay, pick a focus from my body. So it would be something like, or not a focus. The focus is the other thing. Like you pick an aspect. Like, so we would be talking about fire, water, light, dreams, so on and so forth. All the things that, like, you think of when with pantheonic gods. Zeus is the god of the skies and lightning, and Loki is the god of mischief and trickery, blah blah blah. You pick one, forge it into a focus, so then you just like kind of pick a design or a symbol, and then that becomes your holy symbol, the symbol of you as a god. And the game would have a few different a few different aspects to it, where like in one section is excuse me. So like one section is managing your divine realm, where the souls of your followers go for their afterlife. And another portion of the game would be managing the world of tabula rasa, where you try to influence spread your influence with mortals, develop your societies, guide them towards different civilization breakthroughs. They would need to build churches or holy sites in order to expand your divine realm so that it's large enough to contain their souls when they pass on. So the more numerous / larger your churches or holy site of whatever kind you would want to call it, the larger your divine realm, which means it could contain more souls. Then you try to push your mortals to develop in certain ways, send out envoys to connect with other groups, explore other areas to spread your influence. Different races would have some different innate things going on with them. Like, because elves are so long-lived, they could spread influence a lot longer. So they get the word out more, but they would also be a lot less willing to change, so they don't develop as quickly. And because they're so long-lived, you don't get as many souls in your divine realm either. The more souls you have in the divine realm, the more your power grows, which would allow you to have more direct influence, direct intervention in matters. So that's the idea where like that kind of goes. Then, with any good civilization sim, there's like, alliances with other countries and whatnot. This would be done in the form of pantheons, or you can make an alliance with another god to form a pantheon, which would basically be like an exchange of followers or souls. Like you basically create a mythos between you and the other allied gods of your pantheon in order to share your influence amongst each other's followers. Ugh, I'm just getting a lot of phlegm right now. Mostly because I ran out of water a while ago and keep talking despite being dry throat. So that's where that is. Is there anything else I want to share about it? That's the long and the short of it, really. Let me know what you think about that. I'm reading the first chapter of the One Piece manga, and the attack names in episode 1 make a lot more sense. I told you, Nick! I told you! I said, definitely read the first chapter before you watch the manga. Or, before you watch the manga. Oh my god, Jeff. Before you watch the anime. Because they take the events of chapter 1 and move Luffy's origin to several episodes later, where it like ruins the pacing and it gets weird, and it doesn't establish the tone correctly. It doesn't establish the tone the right way. Oh, again, like so happy you're getting into One Piece. Oh my god, love it. But yeah, that's where the gods looking. That's the gods looking glass, the divine civilization sim. Let me know what you think. If you have any ideas or thoughts, feelings, yada yada yada. Moving on. Okay, original platformer. All right, so that's a fun one. That is a fun one. I'm sorry, but I can't get into One Piece. Far too many episodes to get through, and I don't want to. Poor excuse, Ivan. Poor excuse. No, but for real. There's not enough episodes of One Piece. Not enough. The manga is, of course, better, as I'm sure is fairly standard for anyone to say about any anime. But for real, like it goes by. Like if you just have a few binge sessions, or even just, one or two a day, it actually goes a lot faster than you think it does. Especially if you skip filler. I am going to get some more water before I continue, but the next topic is the original platformer, BRB. Okay, I am back. So, oh dang, the latency on this stream must be worse than I thought it was, because I show that I am still... Oh. No, I guess not. Somehow, I got moved like way... My timer got moved way back. I don't know. That's weird. This is weird. I'll pull up real quick and listen to my stream directly. Pull up real quick and listen. Oh, okay, okay, no, it's latency's not that bad. It's like 5 seconds behind or something. Okay, well, yes, I am back. So next up is the original platformer idea. So platformers, I love them. They're among my favorites. I used to say that like the platformer collectathon was like the definitive video game experience. Like that's just what I felt like video games were, like in my soul. Like they got to the core of what gaming is. That was kind of a dumb take to have, but you know, I was a teen / early 20s guy when I said that. But I still very much, you know, feel very strongly about it. And so I have this platformer idea that's very much inspired by kind of classic Mario 64 in a way, where like there's a hub world and then different levels that you can jump into. But gameplay wise, much more inspired by Sly Cooper, in that it's more stealth oriented, but at the end it's still like very much like an action platformer. So I'd say, you know, action stealth platformer. And I would take a lot of my biggest inspirations for it are basically Donkey Kong 64. Oh, don't worry, nowhere near as many collectibles. And only one playable character for it. At least at this point, that could change as I explore the ideas, but probably not. Yeah, so yeah, Donkey Kong 64. Jak and Daxter, in terms of like the kind of overall tone and like the stretchiness, springiness of animations that I visualize in my head when I think about it, where like it stretch and compress, and it's a lot more fluid and animated. But then like the biggest inspiration influence is Sly Cooper for sure, with the more stealth aspects and the style. I am definitely imagine it very much like a Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing, like how Sly Cooper was designed and emulates. The idea here is like I kind of go back to the days of the mascot I was about to say platformer for some reason. Getting tired. Talking non-stop for this long definitely starts to eat at you. But yeah, back to the days of the mascot platformer, where you know you go all into designing like a character who's supposed to be iconic and endearing and like instantly visually recognizable. So the genre I wanted to go for with it, since I was kind of like hung up on Sly Cooper at the time, was I was thinking like, what could I do that kind of has like that sort of sneak around stealth and gadget sort of feel and be platformy. So I thought of like the super spy genre, like your James Bond kind of deal, where you know he pulls off like superhero kind of stuff, like skiing down a mountain, outracing an avalanche, or and skydives at impossible to reach speeds, and pulls out all of these nonsensical sort of gadgets, but then like has the suave sophistication and just like cool factor going for him. So I was like, okay, like yeah, super spy genre kind of deal, and I can make that like I feel like I can really make that fit like the cartoon animal sort of vibe. So yeah, cartoon animal, anthropomorphic animal sort of world, super spy genre, platformer slash collectathon. And ultimately I decided like how it would be is like you would be a secret agent frog. Why frog? Well, a lot of reasons. I mean, frogs are very springy, the whole jumping. So like boom, platforming, very maneuverable. Got the long tongue, which could be like a grappling. It could work like a grappling hook in a lot of situations, or is a mid to long range weapon for combat sort of bits. And a lot of frogs can camouflage. Being so really good at swimming adds extra exploration and movement options for platforming and puzzle solving. So, a lot of different reasons. But I also didn't want to go with something that was super on the nose, something super obvious or very popular. Like a fox would have been the easy way, I feel, but foxes are also, like very obvious, very all out there, done all the time. But a frog. Frogs are, they're popular enough that it's going to be instantly recognizable. You're going to be like, oh yeah, frog, cool. And, but they're not like super obvious, super like out there, done all the time. Well, at least the intro to the anime hints at the first chapter with the sea monster. Yeah, it does do that at least. It does with the Lord of the Coast, for sure. So, the idea that I'm working with as of right now is that, yeah, you're a secret agent frog who is infiltrating a villain organization. And the game starts by, like, as a sort of James Bond cold open sequence where you like, in all the movies, Bond has a short, usually unrelated excursion or adventure that plays before opening credits go, and then the actual story takes place. So, kind of a situation like that where we have a cold open where you play as the secret agent frog sneaking in, busting into this villain organization, and it serves as your main hub. There's still dangers around, there, enemies and whatnot. You're going to open up the different levels from here, but this is where you spend like a lot of the primary area. And we're talking like, cartoony mad scientist levels here. So the situation is that this is the main base where evil mad scientist works out of. He's got connections with other villain organizations or despots around the world, and teleporters that go between his base and their bases. So the primary gameplay loop here would be that you have your main hub in the mad scientist base, where you're sneaking around trying to unlock the teleporter to go to somewhere else in the world to take down one of the other villains that's supporting the main one, until you eventually take down the main villain at the end. All the while, you are unlocking additional gadgets or skills to use, which would, of course, open up new pathways, or the ability to backtrack into previous world zones and get other things. We'd be looking at collectibles kind of in the vein of Sly Cooper's clue bottles, where instead you're looking at for villains like coded plans, their schemes, to piece together the the actual logistics of their individual plans. So we would have, like, say, a Fidel Castro style war general, and you would be finding the different codes to how he's planning to deploy his army. and things like that. Get all the collectibles in one area for power up, upgrade something, and that's the idea that I have for the original platformer. Let me know what you think there. I've been having a lot of fun kind of playing around with that one. Which means the last of the ideas is the monster taming RPG. Yes. It is another one that comes from a long ago text-based forum role-playing game that I ran called Tamers. This one and The God's Looking Glass, these two are the ones that, like, really, really, really did not have the best representation in that at the end of my video to really explain what they are. Tamers takes place in a sort of Victorian-esque era, where there's a bit of some schizotechnology sort of situation going on, where some areas are still kind of more medieval fantasy and other areas are more developed, and there's just a lot of cross development going on between them. You would be playing as it would be an action RPG, so like not a turn-based one. So definitely more more quick reflexes going on for sure. Not quite like an extreme action game like a Devil May Cry, but in action RPG nonetheless, where you would be leveling up like your individual attributes, skills, learning spells, so on. But part of the main draw is the taming aspect. So blah, 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 blah. It was actually inspired by sort of a combination of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering back in the day, where you would have like these little stone cards, or they'd be more like small stone slabs, but like, let's be real, they were cards. And the idea is that once a creature has been beaten down enough, then you can bind it to one of those stones and bind it to your soul. And the set lore in there, which I'm not going to get super deep into because I could get very deep into it. long established whole thing. But the idea, as far as people understand it, is that only human beings have souls. All other living creatures do not possess a soul. So, because they are soulless beings, you can bind them to your soul. And thus, you can then summon them from their from their card or their stone slab to do your will. Ha ha! So part of the gameplay here would be like, you have your character that you control, manipulate, do all your action stuff with, but then you can also summon any monster that you have tamed and control them side by side. Or rather, give them general commands, I should say, rather than control. They would have specific moves or move sets. You could either just give them a general command of like attack or defend me or go over there, and then they would act out based off of their own individual programming. Or you could try to get a lot more in depth, like use this attack sort of situation, and then they would do that. But then that's a lot more micromanaging on your part. So, some risk and reward situation there where you have to, not only control your individual actions, but also control their individual actions at the same time. Higher chance of messing up, but greater control, and, or just give them a general command and then hope that their AI plays with it in the way that works out best for you. Then this kingdom has has magitech. So it's, there's technology, there's magic, and then there's magitech that marries the two together, powered by Owen stones, which are, they size can vary. Usually they're just like little pearls, but they could get larger. And Owen stones are a source of limitless magic power. Now that doesn't mean that a little Owen stone could power, like a whole city. They don't run out of power, but they can only provide so much at a time. So, you can have a whole lake connected to your little, to your faucet, but, the faucet can only spew out so much water. Hey, my guy, I think I'm going to call it a night, but I had a great time watching you tonight, and I may do my own birthday stream this Sunday. I hope you can make it. Much love, man. Hey! Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming, Ivan. Have a great night, and I will do my best. This weekend is going to be very busy for us, so I can't make any promises, but I will do my very best, and would love to be there for sure. But yeah, so that's Owen stones. They're used to power magitech, the marriage of technology and magic. So you could have like a flintlock pistol, but it shoots fireballs, powered by an Owen stone that's inlaid in there somewhere. Then the larger the Owen stone, the more energy it can provide at a time. Then we have cities that are like technological marvels, and and then we have cities that are very classic medieval, not at all in there together. And rail systems that connect a lot of the larger cities too, because we have this is the steam era. We got steam engines going on. We got locomotives. So they are specifically called locomotives, not trains. Like I could talk for hours and hours, because like I got I've built on this world so much. definitely the most well thought out world of mine, just because it's the one that I've had the longest, invested the most into. Like, the currency is called clinks. Why? Because, they're gold coins that go clink when you drop them on the table. Like, that's the kind of detail that I've gotten into with these. There's several different different territories in the kingdom. Each one has a different duke, or duchess, as the case is for some. And the beasts, the monsters, are, they're given a classification system, 1 through 20 when I first made it. If I were to actually make this a video game, I might kind of streamline, simplify it, maybe like 1 through 10. But that's that's where that is. It would have this one is for the one where I have the story or the plot of all my video game ideas the least well developed, just because this is more of a world that I created a long time ago, that I played. I guided some players through some individual stories through role-playing games, but I haven't really created like an epic story for a video game sort of setting for it. Like, you start at A, you eventually get to Z, and here's the stuff in between leading up to it. I definitely have ideas for a lot of different quests that would be involved in it. I'm not sure if I would make it open world, or if it would be more of a linear action RPG, but there you go. That is Tamers. And I am getting to the point now that my throat is getting sore, because I've been talking non-stop for 2 hours straight at this point. So let me know. Hey guys, I hope that was informative. I hope that people really get a good idea of what all of those ideas are now in more depth than what I could portray at the end of the last Quantum Combat episode. Tell me what you think. I want to know what everyone thinks. Tell me if you have any ideas for any of them. I would really appreciate. Let me know if there's any kind of video game that you want me to tackle, because I'm more than happy to take suggestions, and even if you want to give me some restrictions too, do a kart, make your own kart racer, but it has to be within the parameters of A, B, and C. Please don't say kart racer. I don't want to do racing games at all, or sports. No racing or sports games, please. But that's the idea. Please give me ideas for sure, and I'd be happy to take them, and maybe I can make some shorter videos based on those suggestions. This has been fun. Tell me again, thanks everyone for coming, and this has been a fun way to celebrate my birthday. Sit down and talk about things, just chat with people. I didn't get as much chatting as I wanted, as I would have liked, but hey, it's all good. I'm glad I got what I got. But I'll just kind of kick back for a couple minutes. If anyone wants to say anything, by all means, do so. Ask me any questions. Give me any birthday wishes or something. And hey, if you want to give me some any kind of birthday present situation, if you want to help me celebrate in that way, I do believe that yes, I did. In the stream description is my Venmo if you want to just Venmo's me some cash. I kid, but not really. But I do. Oh boy. Definitely getting tired. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. I do not want to go to work tomorrow, guys. Can we like just not? Can we just not go to work tomorrow? That's what I want to do. Is not go to work. Oh boy. Well, thank you all so much for coming, guys. Like I said, I appreciate any amount of time that's spent with this. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful night or morning for Justin, since I know you got up so early to see this. Everybody who stopped by, just enjoy yourselves. It may be my birthday, but you know, every day is your day, and that's how I'm gonna leave it. I think. Cheers, mate. Well, cheers to you too, Nick. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you do, Nick. Everyone have a fantastic evening, morning, day, whatever it is for you. Just enjoy yourselves. Like I enjoyed myself for this stream. It was fun. And whatever you're out there doing, just make sure that you do it with a great big hell yeah!